Alright everybody, welcome back to the channel. Last video, if you remember, we took a look at my old computer, which is sitting right there, and my newer computer, and we compared the two, how they run nowadays. The reason we did that is because, graphics card prices are real high and real annoying, so we want to see if you have something that's older, are you able to survive until maybe the prices go down? So this week, we're going to look at my computer, we're going to look at the specs more in depth, and we're going to do some overclocking. Full disclosure, I'm not an overclocking genius, but I can do it, and it's relatively easy compared to what it was when I used to do it on that older computer back in 2012-ish. The software is a lot better. It's more user-friendly, and if you really don't want to get in there and mess around, they have presets, and we'll show you in a minute that you can just get in there and click overclock and magic, and it's done. So first things first, we'll go over the specs, and then we're going to run. We'll set everything to default. We'll run a Cinebench and a 3D Mark. We'll see what they score. I'll get in there and I'll do some overclocking, some twiddling around, and then we'll come back. I'll show you what my settings I got to work were. And then we'll run another Cinebench and another 3D Marks, and we'll see exactly how much performance you can get just from an overclock. So, let's get started. The case that I'm using on this computer is the NZXT S340 VR Elite case. The VR just means it has the HDMI pass-through for your graphics card if you wanted to use, a VR headset with this case. For case fans, I'm using the Corsair HD series. These are the HD 120 RGB LEDs. They're 120mm fans. Around the outside of the case, to keep that awesome RGB going, we got the Corsair Lighting Node Pro. That's the kit that I bought is the one that comes with the 4 LED strips and the Lighting Node Pro that's on the back side that you can't see, but it's there, trust me, promise. As for motherboards, I'm using the ROG Strix Z270F Gaming. This board has the LGA 1151 socket and is made by ASUS. And in that socket, I'm using the Intel 7th Gen i7-7700K. To keep our CPU nice and cool, we are using the NZXT Kraken X62 all-in-one liquid cooler. 62 just meaning this is the 280mm radiator variant. For RAM, we are using G-Skill's Trident Z RGB. This is 32 gigs running at 3000 megahertz. For our incredibly overpriced graphics card, we're going to be using the EVGA GeForce GTX 1080 for the win gaming. This graphics card, fun fact, is currently on Amazon for $1,000. Don't buy that, that's expensive. For our boot disk, we'll be using 500 gigs of Samsung's trustworthy 850 EVO. And powering this whole kit and caboodle, we're using the EVGA Supernova 750 watt 80 plus gold power supply. Alright, so top left, the Cinebench score for the stock settings was 994.2, and the 5.1 gigahertz overclock scored 1059.4. Top right, we have the 3D Mark's TimeSpy scores. So stock settings got 7,074 for this one, and the 5.1 gigahertz overclock scored 7,303. Last but definitely not least are the temps. So stock settings got 63 degrees Celsius over Cinebench and 3D Marks for its max temperature that it reached, and for the 5.1 gigahertz overclock, we reached a blistering 88 degrees Celsius through Cinebench and 3D Marks. Okay, so here is the BIOS of the ASUS Strix Z270 board. So first thing you need to go to is the advanced menu, and then go up to the AI tweaker. You need to turn your XMP on. If you don't, this is just going to give you the full usage of your memory speed. Make sure your memory's running at its rated speed. Then you're going to go down. You need to change your core ratio to whatever gigahertz you're trying to hit. So 51 is 5.1 gigahertz, and then keep scrolling down till you get to your CPU core and cache voltage, and this is going to get your CPU it's the power it needs in order to hit the megahertz you want. So mine's set at 1.32. When you go back to easy mode now, alright, so if you don't want to go through all that mess of changing voltages, all you got to do is hit the easy tuning wizard, and it's going to go through your system calibration here, figure out what you got. You just hit next. It's going to ask you want a game or surf the internet, so I'm going to click game, and then it's asks you what kind of cooling you have, water cooling. Then hit next, and it's going to tell you, hey, if the BIOS is unstable after this, make sure to reset and undo this. All right, so overclocking. It's not as hard as it sounds. So the big thing you need to realize is that your temperature is your enemy. So if you look, if you could, I don't know if you can see this now, but I have turned mine back down to, right now I'm about 5 gigahertz, because 88C is just a little too much. But you know, like I showed earlier, if you don't want to go through all the steps of changing voltages and changing your ratios, you can just go to the easy tuner and you can, you know, it'll give you a little bit of an overclock anyway, because overclocking is basically, you know, free performance. If you paid for an unlocked chip, you might as well use it. So if you like what you've seen, make sure to subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video. Thank you.